Baka family, another episode of Whole Lotta Baka. We have our reoccurring regular guest joining us.
Really the only guest that we have ever had.
Ever.
After 2 years. And she's really like the only person besides
Yes.
that watches anime.
Yes. Yes, we do.
But yes, that is coming soon. We should do 4 of us.
That'd be funny.
That
would be so funny.
We're getting so off topic, I swear.
We'd just be arguing.
Yes.
No, that's what it would be.
Yes. Argument. A full-blown argument. And then somehow it would tie back into the real world. Somehow. But
the topic of discussion today is, does animation matter? What do we think?
yes.
Yeah, short answer, yes.
Short answer, yes, it does matter.
My short answer is also yes.
And the reason why it matters is because animation will make or break a show. The show, like, when it comes to the storyline, you can have a good storyline, but if the animation is shit,
Can't do it.
Can't watch it.
Can't sit through it.
Like Naruto and Bleach.
They don't have good animation.
They're old.
But that's the other thing. You have to go based off of how old the show is as well.
I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with Bleach as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to take breaks because I'm like, I really just can't take this animation. But I know that the story's good and it's gonna get better. I'm still like in the beginning of it, but
That's what keeps people
struggle.
watching. That's what keeps me watching Bleach and stuff like that is specifically.
What's keeping me away from Bleach is the animation. Just the little bit that I've seen you watch and clips and everything, I'm like, I can't sit through this.
that's what's
It's
keeping me
too
away
old
from
too,
One
I
Piece
just
and
can't.
how long it is. I hate
What
it.
is keeping me from Bleach was that one arc where they were trying to get what's-her-face back.
Rukia.
That shit was too long.
Way too long.
Way
and
too
then the
long.
animation sucked the whole way through.
So I'm like, on top of that, and the animation, I'm like, fuck.
It was
But I was like, I know.
still watched through it, honestly.
But it's also like, I want to get from the bad anime of Bleach, to the good anime of Bleach that just came out.
right.
So I'm like, okay, it's going to get better. And what also is crazy about animation to me is that I like to see the development
Yeah.
of it. So like Bleach looks terrible now, but like what? It's how many seasons? 10 plus seasons, I think.
I don't think it's that many.
7. It's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah.
though. And so just to see over the years how that's going to change. So
Same for Naruto. Naruto definitely a lot better. Especially like the first season, they just recycled scenes. They literally
real.
just straight up
For
the
real.
same scene over and over again.
30
Switch the angle.
30 flashbacks in the first episode.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm just like, didn't I just see this?
It'd be fights too sometimes. You
Yeah.
just say the same move
Same
just over and
sequence.
over again. And you're
Yes.
like, okay.
And
it
it's
got
not
so
even-
much better in Shippuden.
It's
though.
not even that
Yes.
far apart. Like it'll literally be a fight 2 episodes before
Literally,
that, and
yes.
it's the exact same animation. And I'm like, what the
Like,
fuck is going on?
Literally.
I'm like, am I watching a repeat of the same? Like, sometimes I think that I accidentally chose the wrong episode, but no, it's a completely different episode and completely different people fighting.
But even then, it's sad. Boruto. I don't understand. The animation is so ugly to me in Boruto.
Oh, I haven't
though
watched
it's Naruto.
Boruto.
it's like a newer animation. Like, I don't know how to describe
What's
it.
crazy is when I look at the Boruto scenes, like them talking or whatever, clips of it, cuts and whatnot, it looks good. It looks crisp and clean, but like y'all talk
I
so
was
much
gonna
shit
say,
about the animation.
It's crisp. Like, the style,
It's
the way
nothing
they're
like
drawn.
Normal.
No,
No,
it's
nothing
super
like that.
crisp. But the fight scenes
They're awful.
are animated so poorly. I
It's
feel
really
like
bad.
they were better in the old animation. Like,
No, they
Like,
were
what
better
is
in
it?
the
What
old
about
one.
like,
it?
Naruto fights
It's-
were so good to watch.
It's
And now
very
it's just like,
blurry. First of all,
It's blurry?
Literally, when they're trying to be fast, it's just blurry.
or it's like,
And
"Hiya!" and they have
very
a flying through the air with the lines, and it's
low
just very
quality.
stiff.
So it's like what animation would have been like way before. So it's like
That's the fight scene.
it's like if you were to
With the
take
sound effects too.
with the
Sound effects.
It's like if you were to take a manga and just literally color it and put it in there, or like how
No,
old
'cause
animes
manga
are.
manga looks better. It's like
Oh,
there's
it-
no impact.
oh,
There's-
wait.
it's just like
Yeah.
still frames.
Yeah.
It reminds me of if it's still frames, it reminds me of The House Husband. Have you seen
Yes,
The House
yes,
Husband? Have you
yes,
seen it?
Yes.
Okay,
I
you guys,
prefer that animation. though.
you
That's
you
pretty
guys
good.
explaining
Pretty
it
clean.
reminds me of that. Like,
Yeah,
a little
but
bit of
imagine
that.
that. But if the animators didn't know what they were doing, and it was just bad. And like, I did say earlier on, like when they talk and everything, the animation was crisp. It doesn't even look like that anymore. now all of it is just kind of the same, and it's just meh. And I'm like, I already don't like this show as it is.
I was gonna say, now making me not want to watch it.
It's kind of no reason to.
It's kind of a struggle. I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie.
then
There's
I
really
won't.
No reason to. It's only just now getting good anyway. 300 episodes later.
You might as well wait for the show to finish, because 90% of it is filler anyway. So.
You might as well wait for them to come back with the time jump and just start watching then.
Well, then I guess. Well, I mean, by the time we finish Naruto and everything else, and we get to Boruto, it probably will be over by then. So
Hopefully.
Hopefully, pray.
We can only hope.
To the gods. Pray to the gods. But are there any other shows that y'all like or dislike with animation?
For me,
MAPPA. Sorry, I had to have an outburst real quick.
MAPPA is just top tier quality animation. Honestly,
yes. Oh my
I mean, but not even just them. I like the studio that animates for Demon Slayer 2. I don't remember.
I don't know the name.
Ufotable?
Oh yeah, Ufotable.
I like them too. They also are really like their colors and the charisma. Like for me, Demon Slayer, I would not like it as much if the animation was not.
I like the depth perception that they put into that, but then also MAPPA does that as well. So I mean, I guess.
What's funny is that a lot of people say Demon Slayer is overrated because of the animation, but I'm like, that's not a bad thing. The animation is literally the best thing about the show.
It makes it. So it's like, if it was any different, why would you... It makes it less of a show to watch.
Yeah.
Animation makes the animes. That's why there's animation.
Yeah. Facts.
So I mean, like when it comes to that, like when it comes to making cartoons, the animation has to be good for you, to make it what it is. Because if it's a live action thing, it's like your expressions, your emotions make it, as opposed to anime, it's animations that make it. So
yeah,
it matters.
The other thing with Bleach, I don't think being old is necessarily an excuse.
No,
because I think Naruto looks good, but
Naruto looks better than Bleach.
It does.
It does.
But Dragon Ball Z
and Bleach is younger than Naruto.
It is.
So I don't understand.
And Dragon Ball Z was made in the 80s and the 90s. And I think the animation
here she come with her Dragon Ball Z.
Because it's true. In the end,
I didn't even know you had watched all of Dragon Ball Z.
I have.
That's
crazy. And from start to finish
that.
until Dragon Ball Super, which is the most recent reiteration, I think Dragon Ball Super looks ugly. And they changed styles. And I'm like,
I had
animation
no problem.
was so good.
I had no problem with Dragon Ball Z's animation, like the old original. I actually like it. I like it that way.
Honestly, from what I remember, Dragon Ball Z was like crisp. Remembering it when I was a child was crisp.
Yeah.
I have not. I don't think
harsh lines.
Cartoony. Yeah,
no.
I don't. Does it actually still look like that, or is that just my childhood brain?
No, because now it looks, or the newer ones look more modern. And now, like the movies, at least they released, they've had like a 3D style. Now they're updating it. I guess people have been complaining, but Dragon Ball Super looked super ugly to me, and the fights were also really bad, low quality. I don't understand who's animating Boruto or Dragon Ball Super, but they need to quit.
I think
Resign.
Okay. So I think to back up Bleach a little bit on the whole like age factor or whatever is that they're made by two different illustration teams. So like the drawing is going to be different.
What do you mean, like the current one and then the old one?
No, I'm talking about the old one versus the old Naruto. First Bleach, first Naruto. Like they're made by like, and it's like Bungo Stray Dogs versus Chainsaw Man. They are not drawn the same at all.
No,
and
of course.
I like
made by someone different. I thought it was the same.
By the Naruto.
I thought it was the same.
I didn't think it was.
But I mean, the style doesn't have to be the same. It just needs to be good.
But normally,
I meant like I thought it was the same studios. Is what I mean.
But normally, if it looks the same, you kind of can tell who made it. Like One Punch and Mob Psycho.
Mob Psycho, yeah.
Immediately, and then you haven't seen Fire Force. Fire Force and Soul Eater. They're both made by the same.
That totally makes sense.
Have you seen any of those?
I've seen a little bit when.
Soul Eater, yeah. Those are both made by the same.
And a little bit of Fire Force, really?
I could see that.
They
like
that
spiky teeth thing.
It is the spiky teeth, and the sun or the moon looks the exact same in both of those. And then also the lady in all black, and then the principal from Soul Eater. They're both literally designed the exact same, so they're made by the same people. But you could tell like by the drawing if it's made by the same studio, so that's why I assumed that Bleach and Naruto were made by two different studios.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know, but I do like Bungo Stray Dogs.
I do.
I like it. It's different than we've ever seen.
I think Bungo Stray Dogs, it's a newer show,
Mm-hmm.
so the animation is really, really crisp.
Mm-hmm.
However, the style of anime reminds me of older animes.
Really?
Yeah, when I watch it, it reminds me of older shows, more so than like shows that come out now,
Mm-hmm.
or like the animes that like come out now,
Like quality or design?
Yeah.
like design.
Okay.
But the crispness and the actual animation is clearly of its time, you know.
Yeah.
But the design and stuff reminds me of like older animes.
Interesting. I didn't think that. The only old thing that I think of is the fact that all of them are based off of like Edgar Allan Poe and all that stuff. That's the only old thing that I can think of, but not actually animation. Interesting.
Yeah, that was just my take on it when I watch it. That's how I feel when I watch it.
I'm trying to think if there's anything like any other specific show.
How do you feel about not Mob Psycho, One Punch Man, season 1, season 2?
I know a lot of people complain about the differences. Is it because of the animation?
They change animation studios.
I
Like
didn't-
actually, like a few episodes into season.
But are
2,
they saying? Are they
changed
complaining
animation
about?
studios.
They're complaining about season 2 being not the same as season 1.
They said it was bad.
I didn't think it was bad.
I'm over to think. I'm like
I know a lot of people have said that, and I didn't see a problem with it.
And I think I think that might also take up to the fact that some of these people are watching them like live,
But
like,
you know,
by episode by episode. We didn't, so like it probably didn't
Right,
dawn on
right,
us
right.
that they changed.
Mhm.
I didn't think of it. I'm over. When you asked the question, I was like,
When
What
I
was
remember noticing a change, especially when people started saying stuff. There's definitely a style change.
"Did you watch One Punch Man?" Like
I think
as it
I
was
watched
coming
it while
out?
it was coming
Okay.
out. I did, and there was definitely a change. It wasn't like unwatchable,
Uh-huh.
but I did think that the older style was better.
but it wasn't like the way people
I
talk
don't
about it. It wasn't so bad to where like they needed to stop making it. Like,
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Something
I don't remember it being. a
They
change
did the
that I
same
remember.
thing, like for example with AOT.
Mm.
It started off with WIT Studios, and now it's MAPPA Studios,
Mm.
and there was such a big
Yeah,
outrage.
people complained a lot about
like
that.
for when MAPPA
Yes,
first
people
started.
were
I
literally
did
sending
not-
death threats to these
People were
people.
pissed.
They were
What?
pissed.
People
They
were
were
I don't
pissed.
want to see
They
not a
complained
single.
about Mikasa. They said Mikasa looks like a man. They complained about everyone.
They complained about the Titans.
Yes.
They complained about everything.
I don't need to see any of those people in the comments. Oh my god, MAPPA's dope. I don't need
Yeah,
it.
no.
I don't need to see
No.
none of that.
It was
'Cause I'm
an
going
outrage
off.
Yeah.
when it first
Obviously,
switched
you don't hear those
for
people
season
anymore.
4.
Yeah.
yeah, you know that, right?
Yeah.
But
That's insane. I did
Yeah.
not know that.
I liked both studios for
Yeah.
for AOT.
There was definitely a
and
huge
what
difference.
I find there's a huge
Yeah.
difference. But
Yeah.
what I think is fascinating
I
is
just thought
that
it was-
it fits.
Yes,
Like
it
WIT
fits.
Studios fit perfectly for seasons
first-
1 through season 3.
Mhm.
Like before we get to the other side of the sea, because once we get to season 4 and the final season, it's so much darker.
It
And-
makes
and
sense that you
MAPPA-
would change that.
And MAPPA encompasses that darkness so well in its
Mhm.
and its animation style,
Mhm.
like the way they're drawn, their
Mhm.
faces, even the way the Titans change, like it fits that
Mhm.
darker,
It wouldn't make sense
ambiance.
if they had done it like in the middle of season 4 or like
Or in season 2.
or in
Yeah.
season 2.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense that they
Mhm.
did it when they did it.
It was
and
like a
I'm glad they
perfect
did
like
it.
split.
Yeah.
I just remember my first time seeing a Titan after like they changed. I was like,
I know, right?
was this always? I was like,
I
this is
thought they
always
looked so dope, and
It
some
was
people
so
were
cool.
complaining like, "Oh, the
Yeah,
CGI."
haters.
Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
that's
blah.
the
Like the
biggest thing.
Okay,
People
I
hate
understand.
CGI in anime, and I
I-
don't understand why.
Understand why they would not like the way that it moves because it doesn't flow the same way as the entire show other than the Titan. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like every other scene is the same and cohesive as opposed to when the Titan shows up, it's more of like a slow reaction. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I can understand why people like didn't like that switch and change and how it kind of could be hard to watch on the eyes because then it's like it doesn't look like the Titan is supposed to be there. It looks like you kind of just slapped him in the scene and he's completely different from
Mhm.
everything else.
But
so I
it-
understand that.
But it
I
didn't look like that, though, is the thing.
People,
People,
I didn't get that.
I really see a lot of people just complain about, like, the CGI in anime a lot for like no reason. It doesn't even look bad, but it just bothers people for some reason.
I literally wouldn't even have known there was CGI if I didn't see them people saying it.
Me neither.
I'm like, what, are you like a anime? I mean, I don't know. Maybe these people who are complaining are actual animators and they can watch and tell that it's CGI. But for us lowly regular people,
but why does it matter though?
Exactly.
Even if you are an animator, why does it matter that they're using CGI? It's a form to make things look better.
Right. Like,
why would you not want it?
They use CGI in Marvel movies. No one's complaining that Hulk isn't painted green.
And normally, and people who like anime like Marvel. So why the fuck are you complaining?
I don't know.
You like Hulk, but you don't like this. I don't understand. They're both CGI.
I do think
Get over it.
Demon Slayer, the first season, I remember a few times they had like some weird CGI scenes, and I could clearly tell that it was CGI. It wasn't the greatest.
If it
I
makes
think they've
sense,
gotten better
if
throughout
it-
the seasons,
if it
but
makes
at
sense-
first it was like...
if it makes sense where it needs to be, then it's fine.
Yeah,
But-
like the Titans make sense.
Yeah.
I imagine that's a lot of work to draw anyway, so just having CGI probably saves them
Exactly.
so much more
Because,
time.
they're drawing all the ligaments and the bones and whatnot. Like, I'm sure that takes
now
a
there's
lot.
so much
to do
detail.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whereas in the beginning, I really liked, they were kids. Everything was more lighthearted. In Wit Studios.
Lighthearted.
I mean,
watching your mother
it is AOT.
Watching your mom get eaten by
slaughtered.
Satan
I mean,
is definitely
crushed by your house. Lighthearted, of course, but it just seemed like it. From where we are now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can honestly
Comparatively
say, like,
speaking.
when we were in the beginning of AOT, I never would have imagined we'd be where we are now. So that's why it feels like it was more lighthearted then.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and Wit Studios, I think, encompass that perfectly. So I have no complaint of the switch. I think they both serve their purpose perfectly in that show for that one.
I think on top of just like animation, is the way that they animate specific scenes. Like, I know we're talking about a lot about AOT, but the scene where
they are like the pinnacle of animation.
The scene where you're kind of like going through the fight scene, or like certain scenes where they're using their ODM gear and they're like spinning and twisting. I see that in Vinland Saga, which I do like about that. Is how
I love how MAPPA's done Vinland Saga too.
Yeah, and it's like comparing that to like older ones, they didn't have the skill to do that, and so seeing
that
all that
perception.
and like being able to portray that, okay, he's over here, he jumps over this person, turns, and then lands down. Naruto would not have been able to do that as well. They would have had to do, it would have had to been like a flat surface where they zoomed out and they actually showed it like this, as opposed to you being literally in the fight.
Yes.
You're watching him go over it and he's landing over here.
One scene that I think they did perfectly with that was in the last season
And
before
what?
the movie MAPPA for AOT.
Okay.
Was when Flock and Connie are like fighting. Then that scene where it's like Reiner and Annie are fighting against the Jaegerists, and like Flock is trying to get to the boat and Connie's chasing him. That scene was perfection. The way they did that, just exactly how you said.
It's
like
the,
where you
it's
feel
the
like
movement of everything.
Yes.
It's not just them moving, it's you
moving.
are moving
Yes.
with them.
It's like this, the camera, and then them is like,
Yeah.
no, like you're actually following them.
Yes.
You're like,
Pretty good.
through the
Yes.
Titan
Yes.
legs and
Yes.
back up into the air.
it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's a great idea.
That was
Trademark
honestly.
that.
I'm trademarking it. That's mine. Don't take it. MAPPA, Disney, I don't know. Orlando Studios, that roller coaster is mine.
But yeah, I
The
agree.
Sydney AOT roller coaster.
But would you think that's better than the iconic scene with Levi versus Kenny and all his people?
I see a lot of people argue about that. About
Really?
that Wit
That
Studios did it
was
better.
so clean.
It was so clean. It
I
really
love
was.
that.
That
And a
Wit
lot of
Studio did it better?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
When Kenny and his people first attacked Levi
Yeah.
in the city, and
Yeah.
he's like zipping through the city.
Yeah.
They get into
Yeah.
the bar. I mean, it was crazy. There's
You're
a lot
right,
going
right.
on.
I remember.
Yeah.
I know what you're about.
That's another fantastic scene.
People
But
are.
that one's pretty clean.
It is.
But
I
I
think
think discredit the fact that Malpa's was pretty
No,
clean
that
too.
was
right. Like I'm not
There's
gonna.
a lot of
That's like
people-
I'm not gonna sit
Another
here
one
and
with
say.
like difference of perspectives.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna sit here and say that what you're talking about and the scene that you're talking about are one's better than the other, because they did pretty good, and like, or not pretty good. really good. And like, I think for Wit, it was later in their career that they did that scene. Is it not?
Well, I mean
what
it
season
like
is that? Season 3. And then at season 4 it changed. So it was right before they changed. When did season 1 come out? How many years between season 1 and 3 came out? So they progressed. So of course that animation was going to be a little bit better than the original. But like, I'm not going to sit here and just say that they're hitting heads.
Do you prefer one over the other?
No, I love both.
I genuinely
scenes.
don't.
I love the kitty scene, and I'm not. Yeah, I just love it.
I genuinely love the animation that we did, and I genuinely love the animation that Mappa.
Yeah, I'm not the kind of person to pin them against each other.
There's no need to. Like, I think they just AOT in general is such a great show from start to finish.
Because they did a good job, regardless.
Yeah, from start to finish, and I've enjoyed it from the time I started watching it, and I'm still enjoying it as Mappa. It's still amazing either way. So I have no complaints.
It would be different if they tried to like completely switch up the entire show with the animation.
Right, but I think Mappa has done a pretty good job of staying true to the original animation. I think the only difference is that there's like a darker film over it. If that makes sense. And there's a darker filter on it, and it needs to be.
And Wit, I'm pretty sure that Wit would have done that if they had stayed, because that's what they needed to do. That was what was going to portray.
What needed to happen for the story.
Yeah, what needs to be happening for the story. Yep.
I agree. So
I'm not pitting one over the other. I can't.
I love them, but
I love Levi.
Yeah, I think I like them both.
I was gonna say, what? After we didn't say it, I'm not one of those people.
I didn't say that.
I
am.
Luckily for AOT, I like it both. Probably for other shows, I would probably choose one over the other, but they did really great.
Yeah, they did. Speaking of Mappa, Chainsaw Man's animation is phenomenal.
People don't like it.
I know that, and that's why I brought it up.
People don't.
I just feel like people like to hate on Mappa for whatever reason.
I think so too.
You know, like, because I feel like anything Mappa animates, like I saw actually in the news, it could be a lie, but I saw that they're supposed to be animating Naruto, and I saw so many people complaining about that, and I'm like, I have been on my knees praying for this. Like, I'm so excited for Naruto.
I need to like
good.
I need to go and see, because I really want to see what people's problem is. I actually want to do research on this and figure out. I think it's the CGI. What is
at this point, I feel like what else has Mappa animated? Like, for people to be like,
they gotta animate something. They're an animating studio. They gotta animate something.
Aren't they also doing JJK?
Yeah, they've been doing JJK.
And JJK
that's what I'm saying.
Fantastic.
I'm like, have these people only see AOT, and that's the only thing they know that Mappa has done, and that's
AOT
like,
is fantastic. No. Vinland Saga is fantastic, and they're all like Vinland Saga's animation reminds me of Wit Studios' animation in the first part of AOT. Like, I like how they can animate something and it doesn't have to look the same. Like, Vinland Saga doesn't remind me of AOT.
Yeah, they have range.
There's range.
Yeah.
And even with Chainsaw Man, like, there's some scenes in Chainsaw Man where it looks like they literally recorded something real.
No, that was
like
I saw
real
like
thing, and that they put
it
into anime.
Yeah.
Like, the animation in that is insane, but it's different from all the other shows they did. And I think it's not fair that they just kind of put this, I don't know, like this. I don't know. This hate against Mappa, because they have such a range. Like, we were just saying how, we could watch a show and tell it's the same studio, but Mappa does a really good job of making it different.
I think, though, for Chainsaw Man, at least, I want to know who's making those complaints. Because, Chainsaw Man, for the longest time, got popular off the manga. And, like, you get that with a lot of shows. But for Chainsaw Man, distinctly, a lot of people were into this show and they were into the manga. And were, like, there from start to finish. And, now the anime's out. So I feel like there's like, it's not like the anime, and that's what they're complaining about, even though the animation is clean.
Now
and
let
people
me.
upset because it's not the same.
I have a question.
I mean,
this question is not for you. This is for anybody who is like, it's not like the anime. It's not like the manga. Are books and movies the same? Is every book that you read the same as the movie? No. If it's not, shut up!
You want to know why? Because you can't draw CGI with your hand. That's why. Like, they took it and they made it better. Like, why are you upset because they took it and added more to it?
Right.
Like, it's not like they completely changed the manga. Like, I see a lot of panels where it's like the exact same, but it's just this was drawn without color and like with a single line. Yes. And this has hundreds of animators putting pixels.
A very specific one that when you said like it's the clip from the show and then the manga is when they were talking about not Urabati. What is the girl with acid from My Hero?
Acid?
She looks like an alien.
Yeah, Mina.
Mina. I saw a complaint where they're like, they messed up Mina. Literally looked the exact same.
They were mad because they made her pink.
Oh yeah, I think they wanted to be like black or something. I don't know.
But
Some
okay,
sort
a lot of
color.
times they will portray black people as like actual other colors that black people are not.
Mhm.
So maybe she is supposed to be black, and they just decided to make her look like an alien pink. Which I mean, I'm not really
Doesn't
complaining
really
about.
I mean,
but at the
is it
same
really to the point that you had to complain about it?
right. But at the same time, it's like the clip from the show and the manga looked the exact same. It was just in color. Like, when I tell you they had they were like, man, they didn't give Mina her body the way that she needed. She had body.
And first of all, these are 15-year-olds.
I
Calm
know.
down. She don't need to have all that body in the first place.
She doesn't.
The
But
fact that she had it in the manga was a problem, so thank you for fixing that in the anime.
they were saying that she wasn't as curvy, and I was like, she literally looks just as
They were
curvy
saying that
above.
about Uraka too.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, Uraka
Yeah.
is plenty thick, okay?
There are so many close-up scenes of like when they like pan from like her ankles up, and it's like her hips.
Literally. And I'm like, isn't she 12? What
Literally.
12-year-old look like? She got straight childbearing hips.
Right.
Hasn't even gone through puberty yet.
She has the perfect Coke hourglass figure as a 12-year-old. Like what? No. So yeah, they say shit like that.
Those are just
Yeah.
perverts
Fucking
complaining.
sense.
Yes.
That's different.
They do that with season 5. Was it season 5 of the last season? My Hero, sorry. Yeah, people complained about that. Specifically the villain arc where we follow the villains. They were like, oh, it's not like the manga. Said it sucked. I didn't like season 5, so I don't know if it's because of that. But people were saying,
I didn't
my
read
new
the manga,
detail
and
change.
I didn't like season 5.
And
I
they're
don't
like,
season
oh,
5.
it's darker. You saw more people being killed, blah, blah, blah. That's just, like, I get the little details matter. But, like, it doesn't matter that much. I can tell
That's
they're dying.
different. I would have liked to see more people get killed.
But it was the villain arc. Like, we knew it wasn't like, oh, are they dead? You knew they were dead. It wasn't that much of a difference.
For the villain arc, I guess it was just to show that like I don't know. I really don't know.
I just thought it was boring. My issue was not animation. It was just
like
boring.
the behind the scenes of what it is to be a villain, I guess.
Yeah.
Is all it is. Like that's why they were like I guess that's why they didn't have anybody getting killed because they're like, "Oh, well, they don't always kill, I guess." And it's like, "Okay, I know that, and not all heroes are saving people all the time." So like, you didn't need to tell me that.
We didn't need an arc about
You
that.
didn't need a whole season of it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's this one show that I did watch that I watched with you where I actually really enjoyed the storyline, but I hated the animation. And that was why I stopped watching it. That Aging show. I really thought
It's a Netflix show.
I thought
I
that the
feel like I
storyline
know
was
what
so
you're talking about.
interesting.
It's been on
AGIN.
Netflix for a while. Yeah.
I
no,
hate
AJI. Yeah, is that what you said?
AGIN.
No,
AJIN.
AJ?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I hate when they make animation look like it's a claymation. Do you know what I mean? Where
Not
like
animation, 3D.
that 3D look. I know, but like
Mm.
my best way I can compare it was like to a claymation where it looks like it's 3D. I hate that.
I can't. I've never seen it, so I can't.
But you know, like
comment.
like a video game.
There are other
Basically.
other animes that I've seen that.
Okay.
do that.
There's
And
a
if I
few
see it
shows
look
out
like
there
that,
that-
I'm not watching it.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm trying to think of if I've seen an anime that has been like that.
I can't
but-
really think of any other show. At the top
Yeah.
of my head. I know a few have,
I know if you
but
have,
it does
I didn't watch them 'cause I hate
turn
it.
me off. And I've known about that show for a while because my friend told me about it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Isn't
And then I
that
saw how it looked.
Agent the fighting one or something like that? Or what does
No,
it look
no,
like?
No,
What is,
No.
oh, okay, never mind.
that's
There's a few fighting ones on there.
Yeah.
But the story was pretty good.
It was
Once
pretty
I got
interesting.
past the animation, I was like, oh, okay.
I
The
couldn't
story's
get past it.
good.
I couldn't finish it.
There
I'll
are
have
just
to
some
see what
shows.
you guys are talking about because I have no clue what you're talking about.
Honestly, it wasn't bad. At least on Netflix, that wasn't the worst one. There's this one show that I watched. To be fair, it's not like action or anything. It was like forced piano or something. It was a piano show. But they would they would animate scenes of them playing piano 2D, and then sometimes they would switch 3D, and it was the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It was so bad.
I'm sorry,
I'm
but
like,
watching
who
a piano
animated
anime
this?
already.
I've been watching anime for a long time. I'm not at that point where I don't really watch.
How long?
Since like middle school.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm like, that's why I'm trying to get into sports anime, action anime, romance. I don't really
I
care.
love sports anime.
Yeah, but the sometimes they do like 3D animation, and it looked like something I would have seen on YouTube. It was not good.
Yeah, I hate that 3D animation. Like that is enough to get me not to watch this show.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah,
bad.
there are certain animations that will stop me from watching a show.
Yeah.
If Bleach wasn't said to be as good as it is, I wouldn't be watching.
Now for One Piece. Everybody talks about how One Piece is great too. I cannot watch One Piece because not only do I not like the animation, I hate the character design too.
Yeah, I don't like how everybody looks.
Yeah, I don't like how any of those characters are drawn.
There's not a single person that I think is worth me laying my eyes upon.
And that to me, and then for there to be 1,000 episodes of that,
still going.
like no, I can't watch. I can't do it. I can't sit and watch it. I tried. I can't do it.
You better than me. I haven't even.
I tried for 10 episodes, and I was like, I hate this.
Yeah. And I refuse to. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I think we can end it on hating on One
Piece.
Yeah, mid-piece.
I ain't say it.
I didn't say it either.
But the guest said it.
Yeah.
The guest said it. I don't know.
Here, hey, let's get out of here.
And that's it. See you guys next week.